With every new entry to the franchise, we're reminded of the fact that the How to Train Your Dragon universe is full of mysteries, twists, and unexpected characters. In today's video, we'll be diving into the top 10 fan theories from How to Train Your Dragon. Let's start off with a few theories on the dragon species we encountered throughout the franchise. At number 10, we have the idea that bone nappers and armor wings both descended from a common ancestor. And it's not really hard to believe this, because the bone napper and armor wing both need to find a suit of armor for themselves to cover up their weak skins. While the bone napper scavenges dragon remains to build a tough hide for itself, the armor wing uses its white-hot flames to weld together an impenetrable suit of armor. Now, their skin does look a bit different, with the bone napper seeming more like a giant featherless chicken, while the armor wing has more normal scaleless skin. However, the facial structure, wings, and overall size are incredibly similar, strongly hinting at these two dragons being related. Another similarity between the two is their personality, as these dragons tend to be loners that are quite territorial. Most of their loneliness comes from a matter of necessity, as they have to devote many hours to finding the perfect pieces for their suits of armor. Once their defenses are complete, these dragons become more approachable and can be playful and even affectionate with the right trainer. Moving on to theory number 9, just like the bone nappers and armor wings, what if squirrels and night furies are related species as well? Think about it. Both dragons share some pretty remarkable traits. They're incredibly fast flyers, possibly the fastest in the dragon world. Both species also demonstrate exceptional intelligence, far above most other dragon types we've encountered, but where it gets really interesting is when you start comparing these dragon abilities with energy. Night Furies can fire plasma blasts with pinpoint accuracy, while squirrels can channel and redirect lightning itself. In fact, Night Furies are also connected to lightning, as we saw Toothless manipulating and controlling lightning in the third movie, and using it to heat his scales and turn invisible. These electrical and plasma-based powers suggest these dragons might have evolved from the same evolutionary branch, developing different ways to harness and manipulate energy over time. The physical similarities are there too. Even though the squirrel's spiky appearance makes it a fair bit more terrifying, both dragons have sleek, aerodynamic builds perfect for high-speed flight, and their wing structures are remarkably similar when you really look closely. At number 8, we explore the theory that night furies actually originate from a much warmer climate and aren't native to the barbaric archipelago at all. This theory comes from Grimmel's statements about night furies being unable to survive in the cold, but also makes a lot of sense when you consider Toothless' behavior throughout the series. Now, I know what you're thinking. We've seen plenty of instances where Toothless plays around in the snow and is completely fine, but remember how he breathes fire to warm the ground before settling down to sleep? Most dragons we see in the archipelago seem perfectly adapted to the harsh, cold conditions and don't even pay attention to the concept of staying warm. Toothless is different. If night furies originally came from tropical or subtropical regions, this would also explain their incredible rarity in Berk's part of the world. Toothless may have migrated north due to territorial pressure, hunting, climate changes, or simply getting lost. But one thing's for sure, he's definitely not naturally suited to survive Berk's cold winters. Going along with more things that Grimmel said, number 7 brings us the theory that Grimmel actually lied about hunting the Night Furies to extinction. Think about Grimmel's character for a moment. He is obsessed with being seen as the ultimate dragon hunter, the one who accomplished what no one else could. But what if his greatest claim of fame is actually a lie? Notice how Grimmel never shows any concrete proof of his supposed Night Fury kills? For someone so proud of his achievements, you would expect him to have trophies like bones, skulls, maybe even a full stuffed dragon, but Grimmel has none of that. This theory suggests that Grimmel may have encountered very few Night Furies, possibly none at all, and built his reputation on exaggerated stories. His obsession with Toothless could stem from the fact that this is his first real chance to actually prove his ability to hunt Night Furies and cement his reputation as a dragon killer. At number 6, we dive into another theory about Night Fury rarity, which proposes that Drago's distinctive black cloak is actually made from Night Fury hide. The difference between Grimmel and Drago is that we know Drago is the real deal. Even Stoic acknowledged this warlord's strength and brutality. This would provide a much more concrete explanation for why Night Furies are so scarce in the archipelago. If Drago had hunted down a few of them to create his intimidating wardrobe, the highly intelligent Night Furies would have just fled the archipelago to save their own skins. This would explain the apparent near extinction of the Night Furies far better than Grimmel's unproven claims. The likelihood of Drago engaging with Night Furies is also supported by the way other characters behave around them. Remember Eric's reaction when he first sees Toothless? His surprise suggests that night furies are legendary, almost mythical creatures to most dragon trappers, but Drago wasn't really shocked at the sight of Toothless, probably because he'd been quietly hunting night furies all along. This theory gains more weight when you consider that Drago would want the hide of the most elusive and powerful dragon species for his personal use. It's exactly the kind of power move his character would make. Sticking with night furies, theory number 5 presents one of the most controversial ideas in the fandom. Toothless is actually melanistic light fury, and night furies don't exist as a separate species at all. Melanism is a condition where animals produce excessive black pigment, essentially the opposite of albinism. Under this theory, what we call night furies are just light furies with this rare genetic condition. This would explain why Grimmel has no trophies from his supposed night fury hunts. He was actually hunting a genetic variation that barely exists. The story of night furies throughout history might just be misidentifications of dragons that rule the night like skrills. This would also explain the instant connection between Toothless and the light fury in the third movie. They're literally the same species, just different color variations. At number 4, we have a completely unexpected and creative theory. Hiccup's decision to send all dragons to the hidden world actually destroyed the surface world's ecosystem. You see, dragons aren't just magical creatures in this universe, they're apex predators that have been part of the ecosystem for thousands of years. Suddenly removing all of them would create a massive ecological disaster. Without dragons controlling populations of large fish, sea creatures, and other animals, we'd likely see a rapid overpopulation followed by resource depletion and starvation. The delicate balance that existed between dragons and humans and nature would be completely shattered. Hiccup thought he was protecting the dragons, but this theory suggests he may have doomed the surface world to ecological collapse. Number 3 takes us into even more outlandish territory with the theory that the Dragon Eye is actually proof that the How to Train Your Dragon world is post-apocalyptic. The Dragon Eye contains incredibly advanced technology like holographic projections and complex mechanical systems that seem far beyond what we'd expect from a Viking-era society. I mean, think about it. Not even lens making was a common technology during the Viking era, but what if the Dragon Eye isn't advanced for its time? What if it's a remnant from before a great collapse? This theory suggests that the world of How to Train Your Dragon is actually set after the fall of an advanced civilization. The scattered islands, the relatively primitive technology most people use, and the presence of these incredibly sophisticated artifacts like the Dragon Eye all point to a world rebuilding after some catastrophic event. The dragons themselves might have been part of whatever caused this apocalypse, which would add a whole new layer to the human-dragon conflict we see throughout the series. At number 2, we explore the theory that Toothless was actually a villain, or at best an anti-hero, before meeting Hiccup. This theory suggests that Toothless may have been actively hunting humans or causing destruction before his encounter with Hiccup. His incredible skills in combat, his knowledge of dragon tactics, and his natural ability to command and dominate other dragons all point to someone with extensive experience in conflict. His transformation from potential villain to hero would make this character arc even more powerful. It's not just about a boy and his dragon anymore, it's about redemption and the power of friendship to change someone completely. And finally at number 1, we build upon questioning Toothless's motivations with perhaps the most chilling theory of all, that night furies are actually specialized dragon predators. This theory flips everything we know about night furies on its head. Instead of being a dragon species that's a deadly threat to humans, they're actually evolved to hunt other dragons. Think about Toothless's abilities. His plasma blasts are perfectly designed to take down flying targets, his speed and stealth let him sneak up on other dragons in mid-flight, and his intelligence allows him to outthink his prey. The name Night Fury takes on a much more sinister meaning under this theory. Perhaps being apex predators of any species generally tend to be fewer in number. This might also explain why other dragons didn't interact too closely with Toothless before he became the alpha, and why Toothless initially had no pack. By their nature, Night Furies might be solitary hunters like leopards or panthers. The relationship between Hiccup and Toothless becomes even more remarkable under this theory. Hiccup didn't just tame a dragon, he befriended a creature that was designed by evolution to be the ultimate dragon killer. And there you have it, the top 10 fan theories from How to Train Your Dragon. What do you think about these theories? Do any of them change how you view the movies and shows? In the meantime, if you want to see 10 other cool theories about How to Train Your Dragon, you can see this other cool video that I made about it. Click on it to see it. Click it.